Tonight at 8 on Arizona PBS. Explore new ideas and new worlds here on Arizona PBS, a community service of Arizona State University.
Arizona PBS provides great musical performances all year long, and now we have some of the best seats to see your favorite acts live and in concert. Arizona PBS Box Office presents a backstage pass to meet world-class performers. Arizona PBS Box Office presents a chance to see exciting performances before they sell out. This month, Arizona PBS Box Office presents Grammy Award-winning Diana Krall, performing in concert at Phoenix Symphony Hall on Wednesday, August 9th.
Coming up next on Arizona PBS, Life and World.
Find more ways to explore at pbs.org/anywhere.
Support for Arizona PBS comes from viewers like you and from
Deanne Griebel, now with Moores & Cabot Investments, serving investors since 1890, proudly supports quality programming on 8 Arizona PBS, 480-725-9602.
Ironwood Cancer and Research Centers, personalized cancer care through medical oncology, radiation oncology, and radiology services, focusing on emotional, physical, and social support, outsmarting cancer one patient at a time.
From the Cronkite Studios in downtown Phoenix, this is Cronkite News.
A protest at Senator Jeff Flake's office in Phoenix ends with 5 arrests. How the encounter unfolded and what sparked protesters' frustration.
The effort to combat opioid abuse around the country rages on. The CDC held a conference today to address the crisis. We bring you our coverage from our Washington, D.C. bureau.
And the National Council of La Raza is returning to its roots. What kept the Latino group away from the Valley and why it's returning to hold its annual conference here in Phoenix.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Annika Walters.
And I'm Tyler Paley. Thanks for joining us. Across the country today, GOP senators in nearly 24 states were faced with protesters at their offices. Cronkite News reporter Tyler Fingert was at Senator Jeff Flake's office in Phoenix, where protesters were demanding to be let in.
What was originally planned as a sit-in turned out not to be because protesters were never let inside. While they couldn't see the Republican senator, they hoped their message was delivered. Vote no on the upcoming health care bill.
Healthcare is a human right.
Today in Phoenix, protest.
Why have you locked us out today?
Over the bill that could eventually repeal and replace Obamacare.
This was billed as a sit-in, and I think you may see one.
Protesters spent the morning outside Senator Flake's office. One of his staffers came out to talk, but they were never let inside.
Is this why he won't meet with us? He doesn't want to hear the stories face to face?
Cronkite News requested an interview with the senator today, but a request was declined. They instead sent us a statement from Senator Flake, reading in part, "I have not yet seen a revised version of the bill. I can say my decision will be based on how it balances 2 principles. The first is the legislation needs to ensure that those who currently have coverage do not have the rug pulled out from under them. The second is that the Senate must agree on a solution that is fiscally sustainable."
Well, I think we just should stay here until they open up the door.
Protesters finally had enough. They blocked one of the entrances to the office building.
I'd like you to again ask everybody to leave. I just did that.
After several negotiations with Phoenix police, most of the protesters moved to the sidewalk fearing arrest, but 5 stayed put.
So you're willing to get in handcuffs?
Yeah, we have to do whatever we can.
Just moments after this interview, Suzanne DeStasso and 4 others were arrested and hauled away. Tonight, it's unclear what charges those protesters who were arrested today will face, but these arrests weren't the only ones. At Flake's Tucson office, 2 people were arrested there for trespassing, and one of them is also facing an intimidation charge. We want to note that Flake's office says it wasn't their choice to not let protesters inside. The property manager made that call. In the broadcast center, Tyler Fingert, Cronkite News.
Other Arizona lawmakers are sounding off on the proposed Senate health care bill. Democratic Representative Raul Grijalva is hosting a town hall in Tucson tonight and another in Avondale on Saturday to discuss proposed changes to the Affordable Care Act. Grijalva worries changes could cause too many problems.
But at this point, you know, the wheels have come off, and I don't see politically what the path forward is.
For the full sit-down with Representative Grijalva, stay tuned for Arizona Horizon here on Arizona PBS at 5:30 and again at 10 p.m.
Good news and bad news today from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention on the overprescribing of opioids. The CDC said that the amount of opioids prescribed per person in the U.S. started falling after 2010. But by 2015, it was still almost 3 times as high as it was 20 years ago. And in Arizona, prescriptions in most counties were still well above the national average. Cronkite News reporter Alex Valdez has more tonight from our Washington, D.C. bureau.
Yes, the CDC says the prescription of opioids has hit Appalachian states the most hardest, but no state has escaped from the problem. And that was true for Arizona, where Governor Doug Ducey declared a state of emergency last month in response to the opioid crisis.
Learning today from the CDC is that we've been making very little progress in promoting more cautious prescribing, that there's much more that needs to be done. You know, they compared our current levels to the level of prescribing in 1999 and said that we're 3 times higher than 1999.
In Arizona, the number of prescriptions have declined along with the national numbers, but prescriptions in more than half of the counties in the state are still above national average, in some cases 2 or 3 times higher.
There are striking geographic differences in the way opioids are prescribed. In certain parts of the United States, doctors are prescribing much more aggressively, and the CDC doesn't think that the explanation is that in these regions more people have pain. They think this means that in these regions doctors are too aggressive in their use of opioids.
Kalani said one possible solution would be to require a warning about the risk for families when they are prescribed more than 3 days of the drugs. A prescription registry was just one of the things Governor Doug Ducey was calling for when he declared a state of emergency just last month. We reached out to the governor's office but have not heard a response from their office. Reporting in Washington, I'm Alex Valdez, Cronkite News.
Cronkite News is dedicated to covering the opioid crisis in Arizona and nationwide. Our documentary Hooked RX From Prescription to Addiction highlights the problem of painkillers here in our state. You can watch the documentary and find resources for getting help online at hookedrx.org.
Today, prosecutors made closing arguments in former Sheriff Joe Arpaio's trial before the judge makes his final decision. Prosecutors played interview clips that show the former sheriff saying he will continue with immigration patrols despite a court's order to stop. The sheriff is accused of contempt of court, although Arpaio and his lawyers insist he did not disobey the order intentionally. If convicted, Arpaio could face up to 6 months in jail.
We're seeing video from both a citizen and the officers involved in a case of alleged police brutality. An African-American man arrested by Mesa police says he was beaten by officers after jaywalking. A rally demanding an independent investigation and calling for acts of civil disobedience is set to take place tonight. Cronkite News reporter Patricio Espinosa has been following the story and has the video.
It was late in the evening, about 10 p.m., Jason Barton says, here at the corner of Main and Extension. He had already crossed the street, he alleges. Then he noticed the 2 police officers approaching. What happened next was caught on camera.
This is a citizen video which has now triggered an investigation and is confirmed by Mesa Police. 2 officers using force to detain and arrest Jason Michael Barton.
Why are you running? Don't try to destroy it.
But now, the Mesa Police Department has released their own video, that of police officers' body cams taken during the arrest.
I'm okay.
Stop moving your leg.
Uh-huh.
Here. Stop moving. Stop.
moving! Kill me! No, we're not. You're fine. Just quit moving.
One side claims racism. The other says a standard police procedure.
While they're attacking me, one's pulling, as you can see the scars, one's pulling my hand this way, and one's pulling my hands this way, saying I'm resisting arrest.
He was kicked so hard in the back that he urinated on himself.
Today, Mesa Police reacted.
In this case, we have presented all of the videos from all of the officers who were initially there and those that arrived after the fact. Just as important as that citizen's cell phone video is, the officer's video is very important as well.
Mesa PD says they also have a taped interview with the suspect, where Barton admits that he ran because he had marijuana and a pending warrant for his arrest.
The fact of the matter that this gentleman says on tape, on camera, why he ran, but he makes claims that he was just stopped and beat up.
Mesa Police says the officers involved are still working their regular patrols. No formal complaints have been made. In Mesa, Patricio Espinosa, Cronkite News.
Barton faces charges including resisting arrest and marijuana possession. The rally begins tonight at 7 p.m. outside Mesa Police headquarters.
The National Council of La Raza is returning to its roots here in Arizona on its 49th anniversary. Cronkite News reporter Lilia Calvillo looked deeper into the history of what has become the largest Latino-led organization in the country.
The NCLR conference will take place this Saturday, July 8th through the 11th. 7 years ago, they joined a boycott because, quote, the amount of prejudice and harassment our Latino community was under, end quote. But now they are ready to return to Arizona and bring with them Latino leaders from across the country. Fighting segregation of Latinos and defending the rights of farm workers were some of the reasons that led to the establishment of the Southwest Council of La Raza in 1968 in Phoenix. Almost half a century later, they have presence in Washington, D.C., and are known as the National Council of La Raza. They advocate for immigration reform and Latino voter mobilization.
The biggest kind of area of focus for the NCLR is to make sure that we're defending the rights of Latinos, protecting the rights of Latinos, but also advancing the rights of Latinos across the country.
In 2010, NCLR joined nearly 50 civil rights organizations in an economic boycott to protest SB 1070, a state law that expanded police powers to check a person's immigration status. Arizona lost almost $490 million in tax revenues and earnings due to the cancellation of conventions on the first 7 months since SB 1070 was signed into law, according to a report from the Center of American Progress. A year later, they ended the boycott, drawing criticism.
NCLR was not the one that called a boycott. They were the first one to call it off, but with no consent. And at the same time, we continue with the boycott. We still say it's a boycott against Arizona. Why? Because things haven't changed.
Now, NCLR Governing Board member Luis Avila said they are ready to come back to continue their work.
So I think this is an opportunity to celebrate Arizona, but also to share best practices from Arizona with other places in the country that are now having to go through, unfortunately, the same fight that we went through in 2010.
Petra Falcon, the executive director of Promise Arizona, an affiliate of NCLR, is among the ones being recognized.
About really building up the leadership and letting our young people know that we were all young once and that we are looking forward that our youth today are going to be the leaders, not only at this moment, but also of taking shape of what really needs to happen to correct the things that are still hurting people.
The convention will feature a family expo and healthcare town hall where the discussion of protecting and defending healthcare will be addressed. In the broadcast center, Lilia Calvillo, Cronkite News.
People came together yesterday to remember ASU legendary head coach Frank Kush.
Coming up on Cronkite News, how the public paid tribute to the former Sun Devil football coach and his lasting impact on the players.
These kids are invisible.
Plus, how Allstate Insurance is putting at-risk students across the valley in good hands.
I think I finally found my hallelujah. I've been waiting for this moment all my life now. All my dreams are coming true, yeah. I've been waiting for this moment. It's good to be alive right about now.
Last night, the public had a chance to pay respect to former ASU football coach Frank Kush at a public viewing in Tempe. ASU Cronkite news reporter Kelly Broderick tells us the 88-year-old coach had a major impact on the community around him.
Frank Kush coached Sun Devil football for more than 22 years, and in all that time, he only had one losing season. He had 176 wins, the most of any coach in program history. While Wednesday's viewing was a sad one, Kush's son Danny was happy to be around all the friendly faces of his father's former players.
Somebody asked me earlier, he goes, well, Dan, you seem pretty up. I said, well, there's a lot of energy in the room. There's a lot of people that have great memories of my dad.
Mike Haynes, who played for Frank Kush from 1972 to 1975, went on to a Hall of Fame NFL career and said he believes that while most players may have disliked Kush's strong demeanor during their time as Sun Devils, they knew everything he did was for their success and growth as men. For many players, Kush was more than just a coach. He meant everything to them, from a friend and a mentor to a father figure.
He loved us. He loved football. He had a lot of respect for other coaches and other players. He loved Arizona State. I love Frank Kush, and I don't think anybody that played for him for 4 years would walk away saying anything different.
But you know what's interesting? Not one of them said, hey, Coach, so glad you helped me be a better offensive guard or a better wide receiver. But all of them are saying things like, thank you for being a great leader. Thank you for being a great coach. Thank you for taking a chance on me. Thank you for following through. Thank you for telling us how to be tough and strong. Thank you for showing us how to be men. All of those character qualities, right?
Kush not only impacted the lives of many players and fans across the country, but also helped shape ASU from a college of less than 10,000 students to one of the largest universities in the country. In Tempe, Kelly Broderick, Cronkite News.
Governor Doug Ducey proclaimed July 5th as Frank Kush Day. Ducey says, quote, Coach Kush was instrumental in transforming ASU into what we know it to be today. Remembering loved ones who have passed can be challenging, and across the world, social media has changed the way we grieve and remember the dead. In the latest episode of our podcast, In Focus, we discuss memorialization in the 21st century. For this conversation and more audio storytelling, visit cronkitenews.azpbs.org/podcast.
So imagine trying to get good grades, make friends, and even get into college when you don't even have a place to call your own. That's the reality for the nearly 30,000 homeless students in our state, according to the Arizona Department of Education. But as I found out today, there's one group of people who are homeless by definition, but are pushing forward in times of despair. They hide in plain sight, carrying on with their daily lives just like you and me. But make no mistake about it, their lives are far from ordinary.
It's awful. It brings so many awful things to an individual's mind, and it affects them way more ways than just a physical state.
That's where Homeless Youth Connection steps in. It's a nonprofit Valley organization that looks to take a proactive approach in preventing teen homelessness. But it even goes a step further.
We ensure that they have the resources they need to complete their education and graduate.
And in order to do so, HYC partners with local and national businesses like Allstate. The insurance provider donated $25,000 to the nonprofit, a sum that doesn't go unnoticed.
It's going to provide emergency housing for 25 kids.
If we take care of a youth at a young age, and then when they grow up, they'll be great adults, contributing members to our society.
And for WIT, that helping hand, which wasn't always around, means the world.
To think like how much it helped me in the past, I'm ecstatic to how much it can help other people now.
Bogart says there are about 6,000 homeless teens from grades 9 through 12 in Maricopa County alone.
These kids are invisible. They really do not want to be in the system. They would much rather prefer to hide on somebody's sofa or in the park.
But WIT refuses to hide anywhere. Invisibility just isn't part of his plans.
I should be getting my EMT by this December, and later doing some fire science courses, stuff like that, trying to get into paramedic and then eventually firefighting field.
WIT is enrolled in community college classes this fall, and Bogart says HYC hopes to expand to a national nonprofit in the next 2 years. If you want to help, visit hycaz.org.
And wildfires are still burning across the state, and it's not getting better with the extreme heat.
That's right. Coming up on Cronkite News, how firefighters are struggling to put out the blaze in the face of high temperatures.
I'm Blakely McEwen. Coming up after the break, I'm going to be showing you where possible rain this weekend might be coming from.
Heaven knows you're a dreamer. Don't hide it from anyone. Don't hide it from anyone. Hey, would you believe me if I said we are here for a reason now? This is our life. This is what counts. This is for us. I will go anywhere for you.
Arizona health officials say flu season is not yet over in the state. The Department of Health Services says it saw nearly 1,300 confirmed cases last month, but we usually only see around 200. For now, the department is preparing the flu vaccine for next season, which will be available in the fall.
Unfortunately, the flu isn't the only thing lingering. The Burrow fire near Tucson is posing challenge to firefighters. The National Weather Service issued an excessive heat warning in effect through tomorrow, making it harder for helicopters to fly. Firefighters say although they're making progress, they're concerned about risks in fighting the north end of the fire.
We just don't feel comfortable putting our firefighters at risk out in that country, so we're having to look at other options to engage the fire.
Tucson is expected to see a high of 114 degrees tomorrow, but a slight cool down by Saturday is expected to help firefighters by increasing moisture and producing rainfall.
So Annika, we haven't seen any monsoons yet, but the humidity is rising.
To see just how hot it'll get, Blakely McHugh has your weekend forecast.
The high today was 113 degrees, which was just about 1 degree hotter than it was yesterday. But there's something that I want to show you real quick. Down here in Mexico, there's a little bit of a storm brewing, which is pushing moisture up into Phoenix, which is causing it to feel just a little bit humid. And that, combined with this high pressure system moving in from Southern California up into northern Arizona, is creating a little bit of storms right here, which might push down rain into Phoenix over the weekend. Let's take a quick look at the temperatures across the state. 82 in Flagstaff, 115 in Lake Havasu, and 108 down in Tucson. Let's look at the temperatures across the valley. 110 in Buckeye, 110 in Maricopa County as well, and 112 in Glendale. Now I'm going to show you their 7-day forecast for this weekend. On Friday, it's going to be 116 degrees. Now that's the last day of the excessive heat warning. You can see that cloud coverage in on Sunday, coming in on Monday and Tuesday as well. That's that moisture and high pressure that I was talking to you about. But at least the temperature is going to be a little cooler than last week. Blakely McHugh, Cronkite Weather.
Some people think baseball games move too slowly, but new rules could change the pace.
That's right. Coming up on Cronkite News, what the Diamondbacks think about new changes that could speed up the game.
Fascinating. You know, sometimes I wish I wasn't so beloved.
Wow.
Baby, I'm howling for you.
Games that last more than 3 hours are a complaint for some baseball fans. MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred said he wants to work with the teams and players to speed up the game. But Cronkite News reporter Kyle Wilcox spoke with some Diamondbacks players who aren't too excited with the idea.
Diamondbacks manager Torey Lovello is not a fan of efforts to speed up games.
Sometimes the game frustrates me a little bit because they're always in such a hurry to get through different things, and I don't like to be rushed. I don't know what more can be done, to tell you the truth. Maybe shorten commercials, the time in between innings.
Some ideas that have been discussed to improve the pace of play include a pitch clock and an electronic strike zone. In 2015, a 20-second pitch clock was implemented in Double and AAA. This allows the pitcher 20 seconds to deliver the pitch before the umpire can penalize with an automatic ball. D-backs reliever Archie Bradley pitched with the clock during a pilot program in the Arizona Fall League in 2014.
I mean, I understand it. I don't know if it'd necessarily fly here in the big leagues, but if it did, we'd find a way to make it work.
So far this season, the average time of a 9-inning game has reached an all-time high at 3 hours and 5 minutes. That's 5 minutes more than last season. However, first baseman Paul Goldschmidt thinks the MLB should be cautious with speeding up the game.
You can speed it up, and if the quality is worse, which I think is definitely a fear, if you speed it up too much, then you're going to lose fans. I know we want to draw fans in, but I think the more important thing needs to be the quality of the play.
Increasing the game speed may cut down on some time here and there, but outfielder David Peralta doesn't think it will affect much.
I don't really mind whatever they're going to do, but because, I mean, it's still going to be the same baseball. They want to change a little bit as their decision, but the game is going to take longer.
Major League Baseball has the power to unilaterally make changes if an agreement is not reached with the union, but needs to wait until the end of the following season. In Phoenix, Kyle Wilcox, Cronkite News.
Cronkite News is proud to be the news division of Arizona PBS. Here's what's coming up on Arizona Horizon and PBS NewsHour.
On the next Arizona Horizon, Congressman Raul Grijalva joins us to address a variety of issues, not the least of which the Senate's health care plan. And Maricopa County Recorder Adrian Fontes talks about the county's new voting system.
I'm Judy Woodruff on the next NewsHour, making sense of how the city of Utica, New York is welcoming refugees and sees them as a tool for economic development. That's Thursday on the PBS NewsHour.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us.
For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Next time on Death in Paradise, a man is murdered after his expedition strikes it rich.
Santa Ana Silva. Do you mean like actual treasure?
The victim identified his killer with a final phone call.
What more do you want?
Find out on Death in Paradise.
Tonight at 9 on Arizona PBS. Explore new ideas and new worlds here on Arizona PBS, a community service of Arizona State University.
We know how much you love Arizona PBS, and we love you for it. That's why we're offering an opportunity to loyal viewers to be part of our behind the scenes as a volunteer tour guide at our studios. Share your knowledge and enthusiasm with students and visitors of all ages. You'll cover topics including media, technology, higher education, and everything Arizona PBS. Simply visit our website to apply before the deadline. Qualified candidates will attend a brief meet and greet, and you'll soon be ready for training. Positions will fill fast, so apply today. Thank you.
Coming up next on Arizona PBS, Life and World.